Welcome to this live presentation. The topic of this presentation is how to approach a girl and get her to chase you. All right, so I'm gonna try to give you the simplified version of how you do that, and then I'm gonna go into some detail. All right. So let's start with the understanding of chasing something, right? Let's look at ourselves, right? As a man, right? Ideally, you want to get to a point where you're no longer chasing anything, right? But let's just be real. There's some point, right? You may still be in that place now, or maybe some point in your past where you were chasing something, right? There was some result, some achievement that you were chasing, something that you really wanted, even maybe you felt like you needed it, right? Now ask yourself, maybe think of something that you've chased, that you really wanted, that you went after, you were willing to do whatever you needed to do to get it, right? It was at the top of your mind. It's something you really wanted, and you're doing whatever you could to get it. Why were you chasing that thing? Why were you going after that thing? Like what was so great about it, right? Maybe it was a girl, maybe it's money, success, achieving some goal, whatever, some milestone, whatever it may be. The reason you were going after that thing is because there's a feeling attached to that thing, that event, that person, that you feel once you get it, you will feel a certain way. Certain feeling, or maybe a combination of feelings. And you could also look at maybe you're trying to get away from a feeling, right? Maybe there's a feeling you're feeling right now, or feeling you're feeling in the past, and you're trying to get away from that. And that result that you were chasing after, that person, that thing, that event, that goal, whatever it was, you felt as though if you could just reach that, you would get a specific feeling, right? So you were chasing it. So now if we look at the woman, right? There is a feeling she's chasing in her life, or a combination of feelings she's chasing, or maybe a feeling she's trying to get away from. Now you, as the man, if you want a girl to chase you, you have to represent that feeling, or those feelings that woman is looking for or seeking, right? Essentially, if you show up in a woman's life and you represent those feelings that she is seeking, that she wants to experience, her focus is going to go in your direction. In other words, she'll start chasing you because you represent the feelings, right? It may be an experience of life, it may be what you have, it may be your character, it could be any combination of different things, but the point is, she looks at you and she believes or has a perception that if she chases after you, she will get that feeling she's seeking, or combinations of feelings that she's seeking. And she'll get away from the feeling she doesn't want to feel. So now that we understand that, you have to ask yourself, what do I have that a woman would chase? Right? What do I have that a woman is seeking? Now, if it's a specific woman you're thinking about, you have to make it specific. What is that specific woman seeking in her life? And you want to get to the point of seeing it as more of a feeling she's seeking, right? Because she may be seeking certain experiences. Maybe she wants a certain result, like to hit a certain goal. Maybe she wants a certain person, right? But the point is, she wants that thing, or even she may even feel like she needs it because there's a feeling that she believes she will get once she gets that thing, right? There's different feelings. It could be a combination, right? It could be love. It could be excitement. It could be mystery. It could be awe. It could be joy, happiness, fulfillment. There's many different feelings. But the point is, she's seeking a feeling, right? A certain feeling in life that will make her feel better than she currently feels. And so if you want a woman to chase you, you have to create this perception right? Whether it be real, like a real, you really have it, or it's just perception, it doesn't matter. You have to create a perception in her eyes that if she chases you, she will get that feeling or combination of feelings that she wants to experience, right? So if you ever seen a woman say, oh, this is my type of guy or whatever, but then you notice she'll date other guys that don't fit with that type, it's because those guys somehow, some way were able to make her feel feelings that made her attracted to them, and she got with those guys, right? She could have got with any guy, but she got with those guys. There's certain feelings that those guys were able to create in her that made her attracted. And when somebody is attracted, they start moving in that direction of that thing or that person or whatever it is that is attracting them. So now that we understand that, you have to ask yourself, whether you're going after many women or you're going after a specific woman, you have to ask yourself, what do I have? What do I embody? What do I have access to that a woman would chase? Right? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Now, we understand women, they'll chase guys who have the looks, right? There's certain women, that's what they go for. The guy who has the looks. Certain women that go for the guy who has the status. Certain women that go for the guy who has the money, right? The resources, the wealth, right? But there are also other women that go for guys who have certain qualities or represent certain qualities, right? So let's look at the core qualities that trigger attraction in a woman, right? And she has no control over these things, and these things are happening below the surface, right? So she's not going to come out and say this, but this is what's happening below the surface. So I have to touch on these, right? The first one is pre-selection, right? Women don't go around saying, oh, I'm looking for a guy who has pre-selection. They don't do that. But if you pay attention to the guys that they get with, those guys have pre-selection. And pre-selection is essentially, it's a guy who is already attracting women who are into him sexually. Not just attracting women who are into him sexually, right? And so that guy is attractive in the sense that if she sees that, what it communicates to her is that guy has value. He has some value that these women are going for, right? So automatically she starts to feel something, right? And she may justify it in many different ways, but that is a trigger that she has no control over. The same way we have no control over when a girl has a fat ass or looks very attractive or whatever it is, we feel it, we have no control over that. Same thing for her, right? So pre-selection, that's one of them. The other one's leader of men, right? Basically a man who can demonstrate his ability to lead people, right? He can lead men, but even better, he can lead men and women, right? If you can lead both men and women, then it triggers it even more, right? But obviously a guy who can lead men must have some power, must have some intelligence, must have something. He has something going on. Why are these men following him? And then even better, if women are following him, it's like, what does this guy have? What is, you know what I mean? So now you demonstrate that, you done triggered it more. That attraction, you triggered it more. This is below the surface though, right? This is not something that she is like logically looking for, or I'm looking for a leader of men. No, but her DNA, her genes, her biology is responding to that, right? Her body's responding to that, and she can't do anything about that. That's just the way it is. The third one, healthy emotions, right? When a man demonstrates that he is healthy emotionally, meaning he's not walking around depressed, he's not walking around being triggered, he's not walking around being uncontrolled, right? He's not happy when he should be sad. He's not sad when he should be happy. He's not angry when, you know what I mean? He has a healthy balance of emotions, and he is able to emote, right? He's not like holding him in. He can emote when it's necessary for him to be emotional, but it's controlled. It's not out of control, right? That makes her feel attraction, right? Because what does that demonstrate to her? This guy's safe, right? He's not a threat, right? He's not out of control. I don't have to worry about him like snapping on me and doing some crazy shit, right? He's in control, okay? It's the third one. That's below the surface though, right? And some guys have some of these, some guys have all of them, some guys may have one or two, but the more of these you can hit, the more attraction you will trigger under the surface, okay? So the fourth one, protector of loved ones. You want to demonstrate to a woman that you're not a pussy. You will step up when there's a threat in the environment. You will defend her. She is safe with you, right? Your family is safe with you. Your loved ones are safe with you, in the sense that you will step up and protect them, right? It's not like you're not the type of guy that's gonna run away or cower if something shows up. So that's another one you wanna hit, right? Because that triggers, oh, if I mate with this guy, I'm safe and the child is safe, right? This is happening below the surface. As I said, she's not gonna come out and say this. Oh, I'm looking for a guy that's gonna make me feel safe and my child feel safe. They don't necessarily come out and say that, but if you can demonstrate that, she will feel that, right? And she may justify it many different ways, but that's what's happening below the surface. And the fifth one is successful risk taker. So essentially, you have to demonstrate to a woman. This kind of goes back to leadership qualities, but basically, you are able to step in front and be decisive, take action, put yourself on the line. Right? Be assertive, be masculine, right? Essentially, you demonstrate to her that you're a real man. You're not a boy, okay? You're a man that steps up. He knows what he needs to do. He knows what actions he needs to take. He knows what he needs to handle, and he doesn't wait for his woman to give him permission or no. He just goes, right? And then he leads and he expects her to follow. Okay, so if you hit these 5, you will trigger attraction below the surface, right? So for example, if there's other guys that are going, basically pursuing her, whatever, if you can hit these 5, you'll beat some of those guys in a sense, right? But then we have to look at some other things, and I'll get into those. But if you hit these 5s, you're ahead of most of the guys that are going after her. Trust me. If you're hitting all 5, like for real, and in her perception, you're hitting it. Right? And the more you can hit it, the better, right? So there's obviously different levels. There's different levels of pre-selection, right? You can have girls who are into you sexually that, like, how we have the number scale or whatever, like 1 to 10 in a woman, right? Like, let's say the woman you're going after is a 7. If you have pre-selection with other women that are 7s, that's good. But if you have pre-selection with other women that are 8s, that's great. If you have pre-selection with other women that are 9, right? So there's different levels of pre-selection, but you want to hit it at the level as high as you can, right? And work on that. That's something you should actually work on. And we'll go into that, right? But basically, you want to hit those 5, right? So those are the core attraction triggers that are going on below the surface, right? So you hit those. Now we have to pay attention to the personality, because those are the things, those are below the surface. Those have nothing to do with a woman's personality. That just has to do with her biology, her DNA, right? Her genes, right? Now we have to look at the personality. And what this comes down to is, now we're talking about her soul, right? Because if you want a woman to chase you, what I found is if you can communicate to her soul, right? Speak to her soul and demonstrate that you have what her soul wants or her soul needs. Now she's really gonna chase you, because you done hit what her body wants, right? The attraction triggers I talked about, those hit her biology, right? Her body. But then if you really want to get her going in your direction, hit her soul, right? And basically her soul, that's her. That's really her. That goes beyond these bodily triggers. These are the things, the experiences, the feelings she wants in life, right? So for example, if a girl is like into let's say she's into spirituality, right? Like she's into meditation and yoga and different things like that, right? If you can demonstrate that you can bring her through those experiences and lead, you're speaking to her soul, right? Because that's what her soul wants. Her soul wants to evolve in that area of spirituality, meditation, right? Yoga, whatever. Like, just giving you an idea of one area, or a woman that is, I guess you could say, a archetype of a woman, right? And her soul wants those experiences, right? So if you step up as a man, you hit the 5 triggers, and then you also demonstrate that you can give her those experiences that her soul's looking for, she will chase you, right? Because you're literally speaking to the depths of her soul. She cannot ignore that. She can't ignore that. So let's look at this now. If there's a specific woman you want, right? And you want her to chase you, right? So you want her to like be really into you. That's what, when I think of chase, I think of somebody who really wants what you have or even needs what you have, right? If you want her to chase her, you have to speak to her biology and you have to speak to her soul. Now, that's if you want a specific woman, right? Now let's look at the approach. So now you're gonna approach a woman. You don't know what this woman's personality is, right? You have no idea, right? So she could be into spirituality, she could be into all these other things. But that's why I talked about in the beginning, everyone is seeking a feeling, right? So maybe you may not give her the exact experience in the way that she expects to go through it. But if you can still give her those feelings, she may still go in your direction, right? So that's why you'll find some girls who will get with the guy and on paper it may not make sense to you. But the thing is, that guy is somehow creating the feelings or triggering the feelings in this woman that she is seeking, right? On a biological level, and he's speaking to her soul, right? It just depends on how much she's into him would determine at what level he's, triggering these feelings, right? But the more a woman is into a guy, you can automatically assume that guy is really triggering some strong feelings in that woman, and she's not able to override it, right? Because it's just too strong, and it's the feeling she wants to feel, or some women you may even need to feel, right? So essentially, you have to become a guy that has the ability to trigger strong feelings into women when he communicates. And there's many different ways to do that, and we're gonna hit on a couple of them, right? We don't want to make this video like super long. One of them is your archetype. You want to create what I call a sexy archetype. And it's essentially, you want to create yourself, like imagine you're watching a movie, right? You want to be able to look at, let's say you're in a movie, and if you saw yourself in the movie, you have to look at yourself and be like, yo, I want to be like that dude, right? You have to make yourself so cool in your own eyes that if you were in a movie, you would actually want to be you, right? You wouldn't choose another dude, you would choose you. And one of the ways to do that is to create that archetype, right? So it's like you're creating a character, and you're supposed to have fun with it. Like, yeah, I could create myself. You don't have to be how maybe your family told you how to be. You don't have to be how society told you how to be. You can be exactly how you want to be, but you have to create that. So for example, the way I look right now, I created this. I could look completely different. Like I could have a suit on and a tie and maybe like a regular haircut, and that's a certain archetype I can create, and I can be that archetype. I actually was that archetype at one point, right? Or another archetype, maybe I could I don't know. I guess you could say I played this archetype too, like the athlete, right? So maybe I'd have on a jersey, maybe some shorts, or you know what I mean? But the point is, you can create an archetype that is sexy, that is cool, that you would actually want to be, right? And you also want to pay attention, is this an archetype that women find sexy too? Not just you, because to be honest, right, if you like women, it would only make sense to create an archetype that's also attractive to women, right? Right? That's at the end of the day, it's your decision, but to me that makes sense, right? I want the archetype to be cool to me, sexy to me, but I want it to also be cool and sexy to women too, because I like women, right? And I want women, right? So to me, it just makes sense to create an archetype that's attractive to women. You do that to the best of your ability. You use what you've been given by God, the universe, nature, whatever, and you make the best of it, right? So I've been given a certain body, a certain skin tone, a certain way of speaking, all these different things. And I created an archetype that makes sense for what I was given, right? So that's what I advise you to do, right? Instead of just being, whatever, I just wear whatever, I just put on a shirt or whatever. No, create an archetype that's cool, that if you were watching a movie and you saw you walking down the street, you'd be like, I want to be him, right? So literally that's what I did. So that's what I recommend, okay? So that's one thing you can do. And your archetype, you create a sexy archetype, it will create a feeling it depends on the woman, right? Because certain women go for certain archetypes, other women, it may turn them off completely, right? So it does depend on the woman, right? And then also how well you created your archetype, right? So when I just started working on my archetype, maybe it didn't look exactly how it looks right now, right? Like you can see there's a lot of things I have in place, right? Like I have the earrings, I have my physique a certain way, I have the accessories, I watch the ring, the chain, all of this stuff was an intelligent, conscious decision to do, right? There was a point where I didn't have this archetype. I had a different archetype. But I decided that I wanted to take control of this area of my life, and so I created this archetype, right? Who knows? I may change it at some point, but right now, this archetype I have, and this is the one I wanna play or use or whatever, right? So, archetype. Now, the next thing you want to look at is your confidence. Confidence is important, right? You may ask when you look online, like, what is attractive to women? You'll hear the thing confidence. That's actually true, right? Confidence is attractive to both men and women because confidence, what is that? That's certainty. And people will follow and listen and pay attention to a guy who's confident and certain because there's so much uncertainty and confusion and problems and issues in most people's lives. When somebody steps up and he's confident and certain, it's like, whoa, who's this guy, you know? Maybe this guy can help me with my problems. Maybe this guy can help me go in the direction I'm trying to go. Maybe this guy can, right? It just demonstrates that you're winning, right? That's a lot of what confidence demonstrates, that you're winning, that you're not at effect of life, right? You're a cause, right? You're grounded, right? You're powerful, you're strong, you know where you're going, you're assertive, you're focused, disciplined, right? So confidence is important. And what is it? It's a feeling that it communicates too, right? When you're confident, you make someone feel like, man, I want to be like that. What is that? That's inspiration. That's admiration. That's a feeling. You want women to feel that when you walk. When you come around, you want a woman to be like, whoa, he's so confident. Wow. You know, you want that. That's a feeling she's feeling, right? And it's a feeling of, wow, I want to be like that. She goes forward. She chases, or you know what I mean? You're attracting her. So you want to develop your confidence. Now, how I did that was basically going through a process that basically killed a lot of limiting beliefs that were holding me back, that were making me weaker. Limiting beliefs like I'm not good enough, women don't appreciate me, or women don't like me, my opinion doesn't matter, I'm just this guy, like I'm just the shy guy, or I'm just this guy, or you know what I mean? Like labels that make you weak, maybe an old identity that was supporting you at one point but doesn't support you anymore. Maybe you were trying to fit in at one point and you realize that fitting in isn't attractive. That's right. That's regular, right? If you fit in, by definition, that means you're like everyone else. You're fitting in. That's actually not attractive. You don't want to fit in. You don't want to violate your environment. You don't want to like be so standing out that you're violating everyone, but you do want to stand out. You do want to be unique, right? Because you step up and you're fitting in, and the other guy's fitting in, the other guy's fitting in, guess what? You're in the same category, right? But if you step up and you're standing out in a good way, right? For example, you're standing out because of your confidence, or you're standing out because your archetype is a sexy archetype, or you're standing out because your communication skills are better, or you're standing out because you're more grounded and confident, or you're standing out because you're more seductive in your communication, you're more smooth, you're more, you know what I mean? So you want to stand out, and one of the ways to do that is through your confidence, right? So basically getting rid of limiting beliefs. And a lot of that is basically facing your limiting beliefs instead of running away from them, instead of running away from your past. You have to look at your past. Actually, you have to look at, okay, if you have certain beliefs that are not supporting you right now, those beliefs were created in your past, so you have to go back and look at them, right? You call it past trauma. Something happened in your past that made you develop some beliefs, and these beliefs are limiting you, and now you want a different result in your life, or you want to be a different way. And in order to be a different way, you have to let go of those old beliefs, replace them with new beliefs, right? So for example, me, at one point I was known as a shy guy, right? I had to destroy that identity. For me, that was an identity, right? That's even harder to get rid of, because identity is like, it's like a whole thing. A belief is like a part of an identity. The identity is the whole thing. I had to destroy that identity. I'm not the shy guy, right? Because a shy guy, when I was playing the shy guy, I wasn't getting any girls. So that guy had to be destroyed, and I had to destroy the beliefs that came with him. Oh, I'm quiet. Oh, I'm reserved. Oh, I don't speak my opinion. Oh, I don't lead. Oh, I'm not assertive. Oh, I'm indecisive. All these beliefs and ways of being, I had to destroy and replace them. How did I replace them? First, I addressed them. I faced them like, okay, these are some of the beliefs that I had. Then I started taking actions that basically go against those beliefs, right? So for example, the shy guy is normally quiet in a social situation, right? So instead of being the quiet guy in a social situation, I would be loud. I would be more expressive. I would communicate. I would start conversations. I would contribute to conversations. I would go out and do cold approach, right? Go and approach women. Does a shy guy do that? No. So what happens? I start destroying those old beliefs, destroying that old identity, and creating this new identity. And guess what comes with that? Confidence. Why? Because I just basically told myself or showed myself that I have the power and ability to change, to make shit happen. That's how you build confidence, by overcoming adversity, by overcoming obstacles, by overcoming challenges. You prove to yourself that you can make shit happen. So then when you're faced with new challenges and problems, you look at it like, oh, this is nothing, right? I done been through this and that and this and that. This ain't shit, right? So your confidence is basically you proving to yourself of your power. You proving to yourself of your ability. You proving to yourself of your competence, right? And then the confidence is created through that. So you want to have that, because confidence, as I said, it communicates feelings that you want women to feel. Feelings of admiration, feelings of safety, feelings of inspiration, feelings of awe, feelings of safety, right? We feel safe around somebody that's confident and knows what he's doing, right? Confident, grounded, certain, right? You feel safe around those people. So these are feelings you want to create for the woman, right? So confidence. Now let's look at attraction, right? Attractive behavior, attractive communication, because you want her to feel feelings of attraction, and you want to intensify it as much as you can, right? So let's look at attraction. We looked at some of those triggers, right? But how do you actually communicate that, right? So for example, how would you communicate pre-selection? Let's say you're approaching a girl. How would you communicate pre-selection without bragging, right? You can't brag. One of the ways to do it, we're going back again, your archetype. When you have a sexy archetype, an archetype that looks good, it communicates some pre-selection, right? Like, it tells a woman, okay, this guy gets it, right? When you don't look good, like straight up, and I'm not talking about good looking, I'm talking about look good, meaning you put yourself together, in a way that is, what's the word? Aesthetic, right? Like in a way that looks good. But anyway, right? When you look good, when you put yourself put yourself together in a way that looks good, it tells a woman that you get it, right? You understand that, women pay attention to that stuff, right? You understand that the world pays attention to how you put yourself together. It's your presentation, right? It means it also communicates to her that you actually love yourself, or that you admire yourself or respect yourself enough to put some time and effort into how you're presented to the world, right? If somebody doesn't put much effort into how they look and how they design themselves, it shows others that person just doesn't care, probably doesn't care about himself too much, probably sees himself as low, probably has low self-esteem, right? Because not even like putting any attention into his archetype or his way of being or how he looks or how he presents himself to the world, right? So that's just something you wanna be aware of, okay? So your archetype, so that's one way to trigger attraction, right? Or communicate pre-selection, because it basically it tells her that you get it in some sense. So you probably have some girls, right? Because you actually, you look pretty good. You know what I mean? There's probably some girls that are interested. She doesn't know for sure, but it creates some form of pre-selection. So that's one way to do it. The next way to do it, okay, your confidence, right? When you demonstrate confidence while you're communicating to a woman, it shows her, I've been there, done that. Meaning you've dealt with other women, right? And the more confidence you demonstrate, the more certain she is about that, right? Because the only way you could be confident around a woman is if you were comfortable with women. And if you're comfortable with women, it probably means you're around women, right? And the level of comfort and confidence you demonstrate tells her how involved you are with women, right? So for example, if you're confident in like a sexual way, it tells her you have sexual experience, right? So if you kind of like embracing your sexuality, right? And when you communicate, you kind of like looking her in the eye, and you know what I mean? And you're smooth, right? You're just like relaxed, you know what I mean? And you're grounded, you know what I mean? And you're just embracing your masculine energy, right? You're not like trying to, obviously you calibrate, but you're not trying to like be nice around her, walk on eggshells. Like you actually embrace your masculinity and embrace who you are, right? And that shows her this guy has to be talking to other women and got other shit going on, right? And he must have some value, right? So confidence, that's another way to do it. The key thing is you don't want to brag. You don't want to just come out and say, man, I be getting girls, or man, this is what happened with this girl the other day. Like I had her in my room or what. No, you just want to just exist and demonstrate pre-selection. That's how you do it. Archetype, confidence. Another way to do it, right? You can tell a story, right? Tell a story that has women involved in the story, right? So maybe tell her it's time that you went to Miami and this happened and this girl da 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 da. But don't say it in a way where it's like you're obviously trying to like, you know what I mean? Like show pre-selection. More of like make it relate to what you guys are talking about. So if there's an opportunity for you to bring up a story that has pre-selection, but it makes sense to bring it up, then do it, right? Don't be afraid to let a woman know, hey, I have women, right? Because she is judging you against the other guys. And one of the ways that she knows who's the right guy is the guy who's already getting women, because that demonstrates his value and that gives her confidence in him. If he's not getting any women, it probably means he's lacking in value. There's better options out there. And for her to choose, if she's going to choose a guy, it's always going to be the best guy she can get, at least in her perception, right? Not our perception, in her perception, right? So you want to trigger as much attraction and value in her perception as possible. So telling stories, how else can you demonstrate pre-selection, right? Your mannerisms, just your body language, just kind of relaxed. If you look at how I'm standing right now, like there's a difference between like all tensed up and then, this is how I would talk to a girl. If I was approaching a girl, my stance and my body language would be relaxed just like this. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't like get more in her face or be more serious or no. It would just be like this. Because what does this tell her? It's like, this ain't no big deal, right? Like I already got women. I don't even know why I'm talking to you right now. This is kind of unnecessary in a sense. Like I already got women, but I mean, hell, I'm already here. I saw you. I might as well say hi. Whatever happens, happens, right? Like that's the vibe, but at the same time, you understand, okay, I'm a man, I have to lead. But you can lead in a relaxed way. You could just be like this and still be leading the conversation. And when the times where you say, you know what, I'm actually going to be going bowling on so-and-so day. I could hit you up and let you know the details, and, see if you want to come along or not. It's fine, it's no big deal or whatever. And that's the vibe, and it makes it so much easier for her to say yes because she doesn't feel pressure. She doesn't feel like, oh, if I don't show up, then he's gonna be mad or something. You're already going bowling, right? You're just inviting her. So your body language, your mannerisms, your confidence, your archetype, telling stories, um, you know, you can kind of show her stuff on your phone, maybe your social media. Maybe you're showing her your Instagram or whatever, and like on your Instagram, it kind of shows you with other women and or just with other people in general. Just showing that you have a social circle, you have a social life, right? And that just communicates to her, okay, like this is a player in the game. You know what I mean? And it doesn't. You would think, like some guys think, oh, if you show her that you have girls, it's gonna turn her off. No, she might test you, right? Because here's the thing. If you think that's true, she's going to test you because she can feel your vibe, right? So if you feel something is off, right, with what you're doing, like if you don't believe that pre-selection works and you try to do it, she's going to test you because something's going to feel off to her. And when something feels off, her natural reaction is to test to see what's going on here so she can figure it out. So she may say, oh, wow, there's so many girls on your Instagram. Now, your response to that is going to determine whether her attraction is going to go up or down. If you respond in a way that says, oh no, there's only one girl on there, or there's only a few girls, it's not that much, right? What does that tell her? That tells her you're not grounded in your masculinity. You're not proud of what you're doing. You're trying to compromise a little just to make her happy, right? And what is that? That's weakness. You're signaling weakness to her. Like in her head, she's like, she may have a different logical understanding, but she's looking at it like, why is he explaining himself to me? Like, why is he responding to my test in such a way? It shows lack of experience, right? Because if you've been around women or whatever, you would have been challenged before, right? So if you respond to the challenge in a weak way, it just shows her that maybe he's putting up a front, Because why is he insecure about this test that I just gave him, this question I just asked him? The proper response is if she says, oh, why is it, oh, there's a lot of girls on your Instagram. Yeah, you say something like, oh, yeah, I'm trying to get some more. Or, oh, yeah, man, I love women. Women are amazing, right? And you just look at her like, why are you even asking that question? Like, where are you going with this, right? And once she can feel that you're grounded in who you are and what you believe, she's not going to test it. She's going to leave it alone because she's going to get a bad feeling if she does that. And she doesn't want a bad feeling. She wants to feel good. All right. So those are some of the ways you can communicate pre-selection, right? So now let's look at leader of men. Let me see how long we've been going. Hold on. Got about 20 minutes. Let's see if I can get through this. Leader of men. So how do you demonstrate that in an approach, right? Once again, your archetype, right? If you have a strong archetype that looks good, right? And you are the archetype is not you. You know what I mean? Like you're embodying the archetype. Like you want to get to a point where you don't even know, like I don't even notice how I look sometimes, right? Like, and that's actually where you want to get to. Like you don't want to have your archetype or whatever and you're like, man, I look cool, because it's like, it's not real, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, who does this guy think he is? But when you're just comfortable in it, like, when I used to be like a let's say I was playing a businessman archetype, right? So I used to wear suits and stuff. At first, when I started wearing the suits and stuff, I used to be uncomfortable. And I used to get questions from girls. They'd be like, oh, why are you wearing a suit? Or, man, you must be hot in a suit, blah, blah, blah. They'll test me because I'm not there yet, right? I'm not embodying that archetype yet. But once I got comfortable in it, those questions ceased, right? I didn't get those questions anymore because I just became it, right? So when you are grounded in your archetype, you look good. Women will respond to that in a way where, okay, this guy is not like putting on a front. This, like he's grounded in this archetype. He's been challenged already, And that just all that what that really just signals to her is this is a guy that can handle life, right? Especially depending on how intense your archetype is, right? Because the more intense your archetype is, the more you're gonna get challenged. But that just says like if you can hold a certain look, a certain way of being, a certain style, and maintain it without budging because people are judging you, that's strength. You're demonstrating strength. And a lot of these things are like sub-communications. You don't even have to say it. It's like she can just feel it, right? This like a look in your eye you're gonna develop. There's a look in your eye you're gonna develop that just that just like people can just tell like, nah, this dude ain't faking. Your body language, right? The certainty in your voice, your tonality. She can hear weakness or strength in your tonality, right? So leader of men, right? You demonstrate that through embodying the behaviors of a leader, right? How would a leader carry himself, right? He'd probably be relaxed, right? He'd probably speak slow. You know, like when I say speak slow, I mean like he wouldn't be like, hey, so how are you doing? Or, yeah, you know, I was doing this and da 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 da. Like he'd be more like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, so the other day I was, you know, it'd just be more, right? That's my style. Like I know I speak a lot slower, but like the point is it wouldn't, you know, somebody who's speaking really fast and stuff, it's like they're trying to say what they need to say before someone cuts them off, right? Like, oh, my opinion, what I have to say is not that important, so let me say it real fast so it can get across. Whereas somebody who knows he's a leader, somebody that knows he has value, that knows he's you know, doing his shit in life, he's not gonna be so worrisome of someone cutting him off or someone not hearing what he has to say, because his mindset is, well, that's your loss. If you don't hear what I have to say or understand what I'm saying, that's your loss. You better figure it out, right? Because I know what I'm saying is, you know, truth, or what I'm saying is going to help you, or what I'm saying is going to make you feel feelings you want to feel. Like, you know, there's value to what you're saying, so you're just gonna, you know, you're just gonna communicate freely, right? So leadership, you know, you show that through your body language, the way you speak. You can tell stories, right? Tell stories of you leading people, however way you can tell a story of that, right? And as I said before, make that story be relevant to the conversation you're having. Don't just bring it out of nowhere, right? Because it will show her like, oh, you know, where did that come from? What is he trying to do here, right? And the vibe is gonna throw off the vibe, right? So you just want to know what these attraction triggers are, so when you have the opportunity to throw them in, you throw them in. But it's not like you're stuck in your head the whole time, like, oh, I have to demonstrate pre-selection, I have to demonstrate leader of men, I have to It's just good to know them in the back of your head, right? So maybe a woman is not responding to you in the way that you'd like, right? Then you can, maybe one of them pops in your head, oh, pre-selection, let me see, what can I do? Oh, okay, all right, bet. Maybe a story pops in your head and you, boom, hit the story. Or you kind of like relax more, because you know when you demonstrate that you're relaxed and confident, that it sort of demonstrates pre-selection. So you start to get more relaxed, get more grounded, right? Maybe you got in your head, but if you remember pre-selection is important, then you'll quickly, you know, recalibrate, right? So leader of men, right? That's how you do it, right? Your body language, confidence, your archetype, the way you carry yourself, stories, maybe your Instagram, your social media can show it. Right, those are the main ways I show lead. Or leading her is another way to do it. Like if there's a way for you to lead her, like let's say you're in the middle of the grocery aisle, you'd be like, oh, let's go right over on this side. We're blocking traffic, right? You show your leader by leading, right? Or even just leading the conversation in the direction you want it to go, right? Basically just being that, okay? Protector of loved ones. You show protector of loved ones by just holding a protective energy or a protective way of being. Like, you know, have your chest out, have your head up, like show that you're ready to go. Like you're looking around the environment, you know, making sure everything is cool, okay, right? You know, and it's not like you're trying to like, oh, who wants to fight? It's not that. It's just, okay, you're not afraid of anything in the environment, right? And that makes her feel safe, right? And if you kind of have your head down and you're kind of like uncertain and shit, she's not gonna feel safe with a guy like that, right? So protector of loved ones, right? If somebody tries to interrupt the conversation, you check the person first. Don't let her do it. You do it first, right? And when I say check, I mean like if the person says, "Excuse me, what are you?" Yeah, what were you saying? You know, like if the person's talking, you don't let her handle it. You step up and handle it, right? If you want to show protector of loved ones, not that super serious, but that's just one way to show, okay, when something happens in the environment, this is the kind of guy that steps up and handles it first, right? And that's, what is that? That's a protector vibe, like okay, you're safe with me, right? So that's one way to do it. Tell a story. If you have any stories that would demonstrate that you're a protector of loved ones, maybe one time you helped a family member, or you stepped up to a threat, or you defended someone, right? You tell stories. Once again, your body language, your confidence, will demonstrate, okay, this is a guy who has been through different experiences, also showing, maybe talking about your family, right? And talking about them in a way where you're like, yeah, I'll do anything for my mom, or, just throwing that out there real quick. And that shows her, oh, this is a guy who values family and values, and loves family and stuff like that, right? Healthy emotions. Healthy emotions is pretty straightforward. Just demonstrate that you're not depressed. Demonstrate that you're not out of control emotionally. That you're not emotionally reactive, right? You're grounded, right? You're grounded in your energy. You're grounded in your beingness. You let emotions come and go, but you don't let them dictate how you are, right? So for example, let's say for example, right, you're talking to a woman and somebody accidentally brushes past you or whatever, and let's say they don't say excuse me, right? If you get all like, hey man, what happened, da, 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 and maybe it was just an accident, right? And but you react like that, and she sees that, she's gonna be like, whoa, why did he get so aggressive? It was just an accident. That guy didn't brush him on purpose, right? But if you're more like, the guy brushes past you or whatever and doesn't say anything, you're like, man, at least say excuse me. Maybe make a joke about it or something. Now she sees, oh, this guy, like, he's cool. Like he's in control. He's grounded. Like he didn't even react to that, right? Whereas somebody else might have gotten their head or got angry or something like that, right? So that shows healthy emotions. That shows you're in control. That your emotions are not controlling you, and that makes her feel safe, right? What's another one? Successful risk taker. How can you demonstrate successful risk taker in the approach? The fact that you approached her, you took a risk, right? That's one way to demonstrate successful risk taker. It's just the fact that you approached her and took a risk. She's aware of that, right? So she may not be noticing that logically, but under the surface, right? Oh, this is a guy that when he sees a woman he likes, he approaches. Oh, what does that say about probably how he lives in his life? Right? The way he lives his life, right? Because if you can walk up to a woman you find attractive and approach her like out of the blue like that, it probably means you'll do that in other areas of your life, meaning you'll take action in other areas of your life. You'll be decisive, you'll lead, you'll be assertive, right? And what you're communicating to her is, oh, this is a guy who can lead me, right? This is a guy who I can follow. This is a guy who I could be in my feminine energy around and be safe. Because he knows, because he will take action and he will be grounded in it, right? Like he won't take action and then be like, oh, I hope this works out. No, he's a successful risk taker, right? He takes risks with the intention of succeeding, right? So your approach demonstrates that. Once again, your body language, your archetype, your way of carrying yourself, your tonality, your beingness, your mannerisms, right? Everything. She's paying attention to everything, and of course your energy, right? Successful risk taker. I think I hit all of them. Pre-selection, leader of men, protector of loved ones, successful risk taker, healthy emotion, right? So we hit all 5. So that's how you demonstrate those in an approach, right? So you want to hit those. Then while you're having a conversation with her, pay attention, like let the conversation flow or whatever. Pay attention to what topic she puts the most focus on, or she lights up the most when she talks about it, right? Because that's where you can communicate to her soul, right? Right? Because even you look at yourself, there's certain things that if somebody talks about those things and they somehow demonstrate that they can lead you in that area or allow you to have certain experiences in that area that will give you the feelings you want, you're going to see this person as like, oh, this is a cool guy or a cool girl. It doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl. Like, you're gonna be interested, right, in getting to know them, or having some form of relationship with them, because they're speaking to your soul, right? So, like, for example, at one point, like, basketball was my thing, right? So if I ran into a girl and we were talking, and right, she was hitting all the other things, meaning she was beautiful, right, she's intelligent, this and that and that. But if she started talking about basketball and like, oh yeah, you know, I'm actually playing basketball for this team and I know this scout and this and that, and it's like, whoa, you know, now you're speaking to my soul, because this is what my, like, I made like my life goal. At one point I wanted to play in the NBA. So you see what I'm saying? So women have that too, right? It's like you trigger all those other things on the surface, below the surface, but then now you want to start speaking to her soul. So in the communication, right, you're not going to get everything in a short conversation of approaching a girl, but you'll get some things. There's certain things that you'll put more attention on than others, right? And you pay attention to that, right? And throughout the whole relationship, that's what you should be doing. Pay attention to where her focus goes, right? Pay attention to the things she talks about the most, the things that interest her the most. Pay attention to the feelings that she seems to want to experience the most, right? What feelings does she seem to be seeking or want to feel the longest or the most, right? And you have to get out of your head to do that, right? And a lot of that is becoming selfless, right? The only way I found to really become selfless is to get to a point where you truly love yourself, right? You truly love everything about yourself, right? You love your archetype. You love your confidence level. You love where you're at in life. You love what you're doing in life. You love your future. You love, right? You just love life, right? And that is something you should be working on a daily basis. It's not like it's not something that like, oh, it's a result like at the end, right? Like once I do this and do this and do this and do this and do this, then I can love myself. No. You literally have to start loving yourself now, like in this moment, right? Like just start being grateful for things. Like, man, grateful for my health. Man, I'm grateful to have a roof overhead. Man, I'm grateful for, you know, the things I've achieved in my life. I'm grateful for the relationships I have. I'm grateful. And then you start loving yourself because you're like, man, I created all these things. Like I made these things happen, or I'm embracing these things, or, you know, you just start to appreciate yourself more because there's certain things that are happening in your life that you should be very thankful for, right? And if you feel like you're not really doing what you're supposed to do, start doing it, right? If you feel like that self-love is not at the level it should be, then bring it up, you know? And for me, I was able to do that by being and living and doing exactly what I want to do. Like, stop trying to be who my family wants me to be. Stop trying to be who society wants me to be. Stop being the old me. Stop being whatever. Like, being exactly how I want to be. And as a result, became a lot more attractive to women because I started hitting those things, those triggers I talked about, and then I started hitting these other things that I'm talking about, the archetype, the confidence, right? The ability to communicate, attraction, right? This video, let me see where we're at with it. I'll go a few more minutes. But basically, you want a woman to chase you. You want to hit those 5 attraction triggers I talked about, and then you want to speak to her soul. That's how you get a woman to chase you. And you speak to her soul in the sense that when you're speaking to her, you're communicating that if you align with me, you will experience what your soul wants to experience. You will get the feelings that you want to feel, right? And how you do that, that's the art, right? That's the art, that's the magic, that's the, you know what I mean? That's the game, right? There's different way. Every single guy is a unique individual, and he should use his strengths and his, you know, advantages and use them, You know what I mean? Like figure out, okay, I want this girl to really be into me. I actually want to get to the point where she's chasing me. What do I have to communicate to her? Right? There's some girls that are like on the fence, right? They're on the fence. Get them over the fence. How you gonna do that? You have to start communicating those things that she wants, so she wants to jump over the fence, right? Right? She'll jump over the fence if she feels that you can give her the experiences and the feelings she wants to feel in life. She will jump over the fence and she will chase you. She will run you down, right? But the only way you're gonna get that trigger that in a woman is through communicating value, basically, right? That's really what it comes down to. Because as I said, you ask yourself, you know, what are some things that you've chased in your life, right? Some things that you chased after. It's because you believe that by getting that thing, you'd get a certain feeling, right? Either you get a certain feeling or combination of feelings, or you get away from a certain feeling you don't want to feel anymore. So you have to become a master at creating feelings in women, right? And if there's a specific woman you want, you have to get really good at creating the feelings in that specific type of woman, right? That archetype of woman, right? And, you know, it's a lot of it, man, is experience, you know? Experience by talking to a lot of women, getting to understand women. Like you have to talk to a lot of women, go on a lot of dates, have these experiences, do your research, right? And combine all these things. So then when you get in front of a woman, you know what you're doing. It would be the same with pretty much anything, right? The more you immerse yourself in that thing, the more you understand it, the more you're comfortable with it, the better you'll do with it, right? The better you'll be able to create whatever result you're trying to create, right? So this video, we touched on basically what I wanted to touch on, right? And it's just how can you get a girl to chase you, right? And what I found, like all I did was like reverse engineer what I've done. Any girl that I found chasing me, I noticed I hit a lot of those triggers that are below the surface that I mentioned. And then I was also communicating in a way that she felt that if she got with me, she would experience the feeling she wants to feel and get away from the feeling she doesn't want to feel. And how much she chases me would depend on how intense or how much urgency I create, right? So even like, you know, let's say she may feel like, oh, you know, I can get with him at any time, right? So now there's not that much sense of urgency. So now I have to look at this, okay, if I want her to chase me, I have to create some sense of urgency, right? So maybe she has me on social media. You know, this just depends. If you want to play the game, right? You know, if you don't want to play the game, you rather just be genuine and be genuine, right? But if you want to have fun, right? Because I think you should have fun in your life, right? So if you want to, you know, okay, I'm going to play the game. This girl doesn't want to chase. All right, I'm going to make her chase. All right, bet. So if there's no sense of urgency there, maybe post up some videos of you hanging with some other girls, right? Hey, let's play the game. Let's have fun. Life is to be fun, right? It's not super serious. I'm not hurting anyone here. All I'm doing is I'm trying to get her to see my value. I'm trying to get her to see, like, I'm here. Like, if you want a certain experience, certain feelings, I can give you those certain, right? What are you not understanding here? So I can't logically tell her, hey, I'm the perfect guy for you. No, I have to actually do certain things to get her to come in my direction. So I have to be intelligent about it. Can't get in my feelings. I can't be like, oh, man, these girls don't understand, man. Or, man, no, I had to be intelligent. Okay, it's a game that we're playing here. Let's play the game. All right? So that's the presentation. Hope it was helpful. Hope it made sense to you. Now, if you are a guy, I just want to put this out here. What I'm doing right now is I'm looking for three guys that want to improve their confidence with women, right? They want to become more confident in regards to women, right? And three guys that have a specific goal. Maybe you have a goal. Maybe you want to get a girlfriend. Maybe you want to have more options with women. Maybe you want to have a rotation. You know, maybe you want to attract the right woman, right? Maybe you're attracting the wrong woman. You want to attract the right woman. Whatever your goal is, I like to present to three men a 21-day challenge, right? And I'm gonna coach you for 21 days. We're gonna set a goal. You tell me what your goal is. And throughout these 21 days, what we're gonna focus on is building up your confidence, because a lot of achieving your goal is about your confidence, right? If you're not feeling confident, you're not gonna feel like you can hit your goal. But if you feel confident, then you will, you'll feel like, oh yeah, I'm getting close to my goal, right? It's achievable, right? So a 21-day challenge. I'm looking for 3 guys. I'll coach you for 21 days, 100% free, right? This is like a new program. I kind of had this program already, but I'm redesigning it. Like, I've made it a lot better, and I'm looking for 3 guys who want to go through this 21-day challenge. I'll be coaching you. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do for 21 days to achieve your goal. Now, obviously, certain goals, like depending on how big they are and where you are, the goal might not be realistically achievable in 21 days, right? So what will happen, right, with those goals is throughout those 21 days, you'll be moving towards the goal and you'll have the momentum to hit the goal. So after the 21 days, like let's say, right, you've never talked to a girl, this and that, whatever, and your goal is to attract your dream girl, right? To do that in 21 days is going to be quite difficult, right? I have to see, what your situation is. Maybe it's possible, right? Because every situation is different, right? But a look at your situation, I'll let you know, okay, 21 days, I think you could do it, but we'll see. We'll look at the situation. But let's say the goal is like, bro, realistically, bro, it's probably gonna take more than 21 days. What I'll do is I'll give you a plan of action where if you take those actions for 21 days, you'll be a lot closer to your goal, by the end of the 21 days than you would have if you never would have went through the challenge. You see what I'm saying? And then you'll have the momentum and you'll know exactly what you need to do to achieve your goal, right? So you can go and hit your goal on your own after the 21 days. Or if you want to continue working together, we'll speak on that, right? So I'm looking for 3 guys. Reach out to me, send me a message. If you're one of the 3 guys, I'm going to let you on the challenge for free, right? And I'm going to be coaching you. So it's not like I'm just going to tell you, hey, just go and do it, figure it out. I'm actually going to be coaching you throughout those 21 days. Holding you accountable, guiding you, answer your questions, all of that, to make sure that those 21 days are super productive, right? Because I want you to achieve the goal in 21 days, right? A lot of goals are actually achievable in 21 days. And like I said, the ones that are kind of going to take some more time, those 21 days will get you much closer to your goal than you ever thought possible, right? And it's going to build up your confidence, right? Because confidence is like a key thing. Achieving any goal is confidence, right? So if there's a way for you to build up your confidence, you should jump on that, right? So that's the opportunity for 3 guys, 100% free. Hit me up, first 3 guys will get the challenge, right? Thanks for watching. Peace.